celebrating junior bowling, elevating junior bowlers. This is Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Today, 10 young bowlers will compete in the first ever double ball elimination on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. So now, let's meet our field of contestants. Bowling leadoff today is Josh. One of the co-winners in our Best Ball Doubles Championship, Josh is 17 and carries a league average of 203. Bowling second is Christian. McFluffy is a regular on Prodigy. This 14-year-old is a three-time winner this season and carries a league average of 194. In the third slot today is Tristan. Tristan won the 7th frame sweat on Prodigy earlier this season. He's 15 and has a league average of 195. Bowling fourth is Megan. At 19, Megan has graduated from the youth program here at Brunswick Zone Roswell and is currently on her college team. But she's home for the holidays, and we're always happy to welcome her back. She's currently carrying an average of 178. In the fifth position is Mark. Mark is seeking his first win on Prodigy. He's 14, about to turn 15 in a couple of weeks, and is currently carrying a league average of 167. Bowling sixth is Melissa. This is the second time Melissa has come to bowl Prodigy with us, and the first time she'll be on the show. From Augusta, Melissa doesn't currently have a league average, but she estimates that her average in open play is probably around 160 or 170. Bowling seventh is Nolan. Viewers of Prodigy are quite familiar with Nolan's crooked arm style. One of 3 co-winners of the Bowlapalooza show back in 2016, Nolan is still seeking his first solo win. But some of his best finishes have come on our previous single ball elimination shows, so today will likely provide him with a golden opportunity. This 16-year-old has a league average of 168. Bowling eighth in the order is a newcomer to Prodigy. Faith is making her first appearance today. She's 12 years old and is the first player we've hosted on Prodigy from Stars and Strikes in Woodstock, where a year ago she had just started and was carrying an average of 99. But in that 1 year since, she's improved and now her average is up to 142. Bowling ninth is Logan. Along with Christian, Lofo has 3 wins on Prodigy this season, putting him right on pace with where he was a year ago when he finished the season with 7 wins. Logan is 14 and is carrying a league average of 204. And bowling 10th in the order today is Matthew. Matthew just made his first appearance on Prodigy in our Under the Boardwalk episode a couple of weeks ago, where he took top honors. We filmed both that episode and this one the same day, so what a day it would be if he could pick up 2 wins in one visit to Prodigy. Unbelievably, Matthew is just 12 and he sports a league average of 195. And that's our field today on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Live on tape from Brunswick Zone Roswell in Roswell, Georgia, it's Prodigy Bowlers Tour, a series of unofficial, informal, and impromptu after-league challenge matches, staged by some of the most active and engaged youth bowlers in the Atlanta area, and from anywhere else if they want to come bowl with us. These competitions are intended to mimic the pressure of big-time tournament competition, but in an open play environment. As the last competition of calendar 2017, I thought it would be fun to give our kids another bite at a single ball elimination type of format. But in the giving spirit of the holiday season, I got to thinking it might be even more fun to give them a second chance, a mulligan if you will. So today, for the first time ever, we're staging a double ball elimination. And here's how it'll work. In each frame, players will throw 1 ball. The player with the low pinfall will be placed into the elimination bracket. And after the second frame, when we'll then have 2 players in that elimination bracket, They'll each throw one ball at the end of each frame to determine which of them will be eliminated. We'll winnow the field down until the winner's bracket has just one player and the elimination bracket has just one player. And those two players will bowl a complete 10-frame match to decide today's winner. So with those preliminaries out of the way, let's get this thing started. The order of play was set by drawing names out of a hat. Josh is bowling leadoff, so he'll get us going on the left lane. And here we go. See those two boxes at the bottom right? You don't want your name there. There's 9 for Josh. 9 is usually good enough to hold up in this type of competition, but we'll see. Christian will be next to play. Each player will throw one ball on the left lane. Low pinfall is sent to the elimination bracket. Wide of the mark. Christian playing farther out to the right than any of the other players in the field today. And Logan's pretty sure that that's going to be an eliminator for Christian. Well, it might be. We'll see. 7. And now Tristan. Well, there's another 7. So if 7's no good, Christian's got company. Next to go is Megan. Megan, who grew up in our youth program here at Brunswick Zone Roswell. She went off to college a couple of years ago. Bowls for her college team, and as you can plainly see, she's getting some college level coaching. Little high, trips the 6. Good for a strike, and she's safe. Here's Mark. A high hit, but gets 9, and 9 is safe. So the 7s are still on the bubble. Next to go will be Melissa. Melissa showed up to bowl with us a couple of weeks ago on Prodigy. She went through the qualifier but failed to make the show. This is her first time competing on Prodigy. Here is a 7 count, so she joins Christian and Tristan. And next up will be Nolan. If there's a tie at the bottom, we'll have a roll-off to see who drops off into the elimination bracket. Now Nolan. Goes Brooklyn, but I don't think he cares. That is a strike, and Nolan is safe to the next frame. And that's all that matters. Now, Faith. There's 9, and Faith is on to frame 2. Next up will be Logan. Logan with, he's on a search for a bowling ball. As if there aren't enough bowling balls on that rack already. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's 12 balls on the top of the rack, and least a couple more down below. I think we got more bowling balls than we got players. Oh my goodness. Well, that was a wild ball. And Logan has just given Christian, Tristan, and Melissa a sigh of relief. They're safe. And now Logan is the one with 6 who's threatening to head straight to the elimination round. And now Matthew, a recent winner on Prodigy. And he did it with shots like that. So as you can see, Logan's name gets written in the elimination bracket. And now he will await a challenger. And those two will bowl off at the end of a frame upcoming. Here is Matthew's strike that he threw just a moment ago. As we now head to the second frame of this double ball elimination challenge. And Josh once again will lead off. That gets the 3 to go. That's a 9 count. He had 9 last frame and it was safe. We'll see if it holds up this time. I would guess that it might. Well, I would not have guessed Logan would be the first one to fall into the elimination bracket, but that's how it turned out. Now Christian, his first ball on this right lane. Right in the pocket. And McFluffy slaps out the 10-pin. That's a solid strike for Christian. He's playing right up the first arrow. We're bowling on Boardwalk. Short oil pattern dictates that you have the ball out around the 4th board at the end of the pattern. Now Tristan. Brooklyn, but a strike. And in this format, it's not how, it's how many. And that will send him on to frame 3 with no worries. And now Megan up on the right. And another good shot by Megan, another trip 6. And she's safely on to frame 3. Crowds the head pin just a little bit, but tripped out the 6 and 10. Now Mark. Mark with a little straighter trajectory. That one hooks Brooklyn, and he gets 9. And for the moment, he and Josh are on the bubble. And now Melissa, who's throwing a 12-pound ball. She has new equipment ordered. Heavier equipment. Oh, no. Well, that's a problem. That's a 3 count. So the 9s are off the hook. And now we wait for Nolan, who has wandered off to the other side of the bowling center. Here he is. And now this makes Nolan's and Faith's and Matthew's tasks considerably less daunting. Needing just 4 to be safe. There's 9, and Nolan is on to frame 3. Well, now Faith this is our first time bowling with Faith. She bowls over at Stars and Strikes in Woodstock, which is very near AMF Woodstock. In fact, they're practically across the street from each other. And a Brooklyn strike for Faith. She's only been bowling about a year, but she's shown quite a bit of improvement in that amount of time. Good for her. Now Matthew.
Yes, sir. That's ace.
And that is a 7 count for Matthew. It's good enough, but now we see that Melissa's name is written into the elimination bracket. Now we will go ahead and bowl the 3rd frame before those two bowl off as we watch Matthew run out his 7 count. He did that when he won on Prodigy a couple of weeks ago. I'd never seen anyone run out a 7 count before. All right, now Josh beginning the 3rd frame. Seemed like that one drifted a little wider than he might have liked, but he got it to snap back pretty hard, and it nearly got them all. But that's another 9 count. He's been consistent with 9 each frame so far. You're not going to get in much trouble throwing 9s in this format as long as you've got this many people bowling. We'll go through all the names through Matthew, and then Logan and Melissa will bowl off, and one of them will be eliminated. Meanwhile, one of the other players will set themselves up to be in the elimination bracket next frame. There's a light shaker for McFluffy, and you can really see the angle he's playing here. Watch this. He's going right up the first arrow, comes in light, catches the wall shot. Now Tristan. Uh-oh. That's 5, and that could be trouble. So Josh is safe. And Tristan will wait to see if he's next in the hot seat. Megan taking a very short approach. Crosses over, gets 9. That's safe. In this format, really almost anyone could win, because you don't have to win the frame to advance. You just have to avoid being last and falling into the elimination bracket. Mark pulled it. Goes Brooklyn, gets 8. That's enough. So next up will be Nolan.
You're up, Nolan.
And Nolan, another player who throws a relatively lightweight ball for his size. He throws 12 pounds. That lightweight, he's got to hit pretty flush to carry them all. There's a Brooklyn hit. Good for 9. And that's good enough. Well, I got to tell you, when we first watched Faith bowl today, there were several of us who commented she reminds us of a mini Kara. Those of you who have watched our show before are familiar with Kara, a regular at Brunswick Zone Roswell. Faith reminds us of Kara several years ago. How about that action right there? She doesn't generate a lot of ball speed. We'll teach her about that as time goes by. But she mixes them up going away. How about that strike? One of the parents said, a mini Kara. You mean a smaller Kara? Is that possible? Oh, a little high on that one. Leaves the 4-9, but it doesn't matter. So Tristan moves to the on-deck circle. He will be next in the elimination bracket. But first, we have to eliminate either Logan or Melissa. And we're about to find out which one of them is going to be first to exit today. Logan slowed down his ball speed a little bit, let the ball read the lane, and it comes back strong, and now Melissa has her work cut out for her. It's a strong strike by Logan, and Melissa has to match it or she's done. Brooklyn maybe? Not quite. So with that 8 count, Melissa is the first to say goodbye.
Say goodbye to Melissa. Goodbye, Melissa. Bye, Melissa.
And Tristan will take his spot in the elimination bracket against Logan at the end of this next frame. There you see his name in position. And now we will find out who is going to be in the on-deck circle. Now that one got away from Josh, but he still gets 9. Doesn't seem to matter where he hits. He gets 9 every time. And now Christian. He's bowling today with his headsets on. Sometimes he does that. Some tournaments won't allow it, but we don't care here. Well, you can't throw it any better than that. That's as good a strike as you'll ever see. My favorite hit there is the light one that just swishes the 5 over into the 7.
Oh yeah, you're in the.
There's just shrapnel everywhere. The quintessential power strike right there. All right. Let's see what Megan's got here. That's a little wide. And a 7 count could spell trouble for Megan. Next up is Mark. Oh, man, how did that one go? He for sure had the 6-10 up for an 8 count. It would have been enough to get him on to the next frame, but it's got to be the 3-pin that goes over to the wall and just tilts out the 6 and 10. That was a good one. Have to get him to teach me that one. All right, Nolan. A balk. Something disturbed him. Or it could be that he has voices in his head. I'm not sure. Whatever, he gets 9 and he is safely on to frame 5. And next to go will be Faith. She's been pretty steady today. A year ago, she averaged 99. And today, she's at about 142. That is a lot of improvement in a short amount of time. And that is stuffed. 10 back. So Faith is moving on. Take another look at that one. This is a perfect strike. Ball touches 4 pins, the 1, 3, 5, and 9. And next to go will be Matthew. Seven's the number on the bubble. There's 9, and so Matthew is safe. Megan will be next in the elimination bracket against the winner between Logan and Tristan. But one of these 2 young men is going to say bye-bye. And Tristan has done some damage to Logan in the single ball elimination roll-offs in the past. Let's see what happens here. 8. So Logan makes himself vulnerable here. See if Tristan can put him out of his misery. Seven. And Logan survives. My. And it's Tristan who is eliminated. Megan will take her spot in the elimination bracket in frame 5. And it's Tristan who is gone from the field. So we move to lane 39. And Josh, once again, leading off. He's gotten 9 every frame so far. Not this time. Perfect strike by Josh. Let's take another look at it as he's playing deeper on the lane than any of our other players. And now Christian, who's playing farther outside than anyone else in the field. He's playing out around the first arrow. And finding success there. So a couple of strikes.
Well, that's right.
Next to go will be Mark.
So, Mark.
You're the losers? You're the losers? Yeah. Yes.
As he will play right up the second arrow. He doesn't move much. Lower rev player. No need to adjust quite as much to the lane conditions because his ball motion isn't as affected as much as the other players. And that's right in the pocket, and he gets 9. Now, for the moment, 9 is on the bubble. So, you'll have to wait and see.
What are you doing? So what are you doing? Let's see it X.
Nolan kibitzing several pairs down with another bowler. See if he can put one right in the pocket here. Hold it.
Yes, sir.
But there's 9. So Mark and Nolan now on the bubble.
9's a playoff. Who gets the strike?
It's a rare occurrence to see 9 get knocked out. Faith didn't give that one room to the right, and that's a 5 count. So Mark and Nolan are now breathing a sigh of relief. They're safe, and now Matthew needs but 6 to move on to the 6th frame. He's stretching. He's 12 years old, and he's stretching. Well, he liked that one enough to run it out all the way to Woodstock, I think. Watch this. Matthew, pick me up a sandwich while you're down there. All right, Logan in the elimination round. There's a strike. So he puts the heat on Megan, as Faith is the one who's in the on-deck circle. She will join whoever the survivor is in this elimination bracket in the next frame. Megan needs a strike to continue. Oh, doesn't quite roll the 3. So it's Megan who is eliminated. So it's down to just one girl left in the field, and that's Faith. And she will be in the elimination bracket in this next frame. As Josh steps up, ready to go in frame 6. The field getting smaller. Comes in a little thin this time. Doesn't get his 9 or his strike. And 8 becomes a little more vulnerable the smaller the field becomes. We'll see. Now Christian, who's been steady all day. That one was left of target off his hand, and a 7 count. Could be trouble. So now Mark moves over to the right lane. And the bar's a little lower this time. You only need 8 to be safe. But there's another 7 count. So it's getting crowded. Next up is Nolan.
Valuable network time.
There are countless people counting on you.
Got to have 7 at least to make the roll-off. 8 would be safe. How about all 10? Here's another look at it. Comes in thin, gets the head pin to the sideboard. It kicks out the 4, 5, and 7. A classic wall shot. All right, now Matthew. And there's a 6 count, and it's Matthew who moves into the on-deck circle for the elimination bracket. Well, you could tell that was trouble when he spun around at the line. Obviously, he slipped or stuck or something. Didn't like his finish. But first, we have to decide which of these two will be eliminated, Logan or Faith. Uh-oh. That's a 6 count. So Logan has set himself up to be eliminated. Faith just needs 7 pins. She's got to be licking her chops right now. Oh, no. Oh, no. She pulled it, and it's Faith who is done for the day. Logan survives another short count. How many lives does this cat have? Well, we move to frame 7 now. And we're down to just 6 players. Well, he's probably not proud of that one, but he will take it. A strike is a strike is a strike. Looked like he missed his mark by about 4 boards left. And when you're playing that deep on short oil, you don't have room to miss left. I don't like the angle he's playing. You really need to be outside on this pattern. And he pulled that one. And 8 could be trouble. Whenever it gets down to just 3 or 4 players, the score usually goes up. You get the players who are bowling better, and a lower count like that, 8, becomes a little iffy. Now Mark. Can he give it room? Oh, not quite. There's 7. So Christian breathes a sigh of relief. And Mark has a 7 count, and he's the man on the bubble. So who's moving into the on-deck circle to be next in the elimination bracket? Will it be Mark or will it be Nolan? Well, we're going to need at least one more ball to determine that. And we will settle that before we move to the elimination bracket. So it'll be Mark and Nolan who will throw another ball each. One of these two will be dropping down into the elimination bracket next frame. Who will it be?
9.
There's 9 from Mark. Will it hold up? It might. 9's pretty good. But when you're down to just 2 players, no telling. Nolan needs a strike to move on. 9, we would continue the roll-off. 8, he's out. There's a strike. It's not how, it's how many. He crosses over to get it, and Mark falls into the elimination bracket next frame. There's Nolan's crossover. And now we've got to determine who's out, Logan or Matthew. There's a perfect strike by Logan. Take that, Matthew. Can't throw it any better than this. 10 in the pit. Oh, he gets the messenger. Watch the head pin. It'll go to the left wall. And now here it comes. All right. So they both match strikes. They will go again. Oh, that's out the window. No! He brought it back. Oh, watch this. This ball's going to get out to about the 3 board. And here it comes. And I think that's the 4 pin that tripped the 2 from behind. All right, Matthew's got to match him. But he doesn't, and it's Matthew who is eliminated. And Mark will fall down to the elimination bracket next frame to bowl Logan. And we're down to just 5 players now. Next to go is Josh. Frame 8. Oh, the fast 8. Man, that 2 pin just wrapped around the 4 and 7 and never even thought about tripping anything out. So an 8 count it is. And now Christian playing that steady down and in line out by around the first arrow. Oh, he pulled it. Pulled it way left. Got away with it though. 9 is safe. So now Nolan will need 9 to move on. 9 or a strike. 8 would put him in a roll-off with Josh. 7 would be no good. Nolan's been pretty good in these single ball elimination championships that we've done. Oh, there's 9. And it's Josh who falls into the on-deck circle. But first, we've got to determine which of these 2 will be eliminated, Logan or Mark. So first to go will be Logan, if we can locate him. We filmed a doubleheader on this day. We had shot a previous Prodigy earlier, so these kids are starting to drag a little bit. And look at this, Logan through the nose and short counts again. He's gotten away with it a couple of times already, but you got to wonder if his luck is going to run out. You wouldn't expect 7 to be good enough. Mark is looking for 8 or better. But no! He matches Logan 7. And we will go again until we break the tie. Who's going to be eliminated? A little better shot that time by Logan, but still, he leaves himself vulnerable if Mark can strike. He can send Logan home.
Come on, Mark.
But he needs at least 9 to continue. Oh no, that ball doesn't drive through. That's an 8 count. And see you later, Mark. So Josh will drop into the elimination bracket and will face Logan in the next frame.
This will be an epic battle.
And then there were just 4 players remaining. Either Christian or Nolan will be moving on to the championship match. Which one will it be? Oh, what a shot! He gave that one room, kept it outside, and relied on his power and hit that light shaker area. Watch this, it's kind of a wall shot, messenger sort of hybrid combo thing. It's a strike. That's what you call it. All right, Nolan, gotta match him. Oh, right in the pocket. But that's where that lighter ball gets him. That ball deflected just enough, and it hit the 5 in front of the 8, so Nolan drops into the on-deck circle. He will have to go through the elimination bracket to get to the championship match. Christian has punched his ticket. He will bowl one of these other 3 players. Logan, who was the first player today to drop into the elimination bracket, has survived every frame so far. And he throws a perfect strike against Josh. And now Josh has to match him. One of these 2 will be eliminated right here. Josh must strike. And he does. So they will go again. Boy, he just split the 8 and 9. That is well done right there. He throws a lot of ball. All right, Logan up again. Oh, he pulled that one. He pulled that one left of left and gets 8.
Bye, guys.
And you heard him say bye, guys. He expects Josh to get 9 or a strike. I think we all expect Josh to do that. He's been steady all day. Oh, look out. 6.
Unbelievable.
And you heard Christian say it, more lives than a cat. Logan escaping a low count scenario once again to get past Josh. And now we're down to just 3 players. Christian can sit by and watch, as all we have left to do is to settle the issue of who's going to be eliminated next, Logan or Nolan. Now Logan throws his Sunday ball, so Nolan's going to have to match him. Christian is on to the championship match, and he will either bowl against Logan or Nolan. Nolan needs a strike right here to force the issue with Logan. And just as he's about to get up, Susan, our league coordinator, carries a stack of, I don't know what those are. That would not have been a good time to bowl. Catch somebody out of the corner of your eye down there on the catwalk. All right. Nolan needs all 10 to continue. Must strike. Oh, he hates it. And you can see why. 7 is no good. And the two kids who are tied for the lead for the most wins on Prodigy this year are going to break that tie when we come back. What year-end show would be complete without a year-end countdown? So today we present ours. It's Coach Randy's Top 10 Best Things That Happened on Prodigy Bowlers Tour in 2017. Number 10. This is a very background kind of thing, but I take credit for the 10th best thing that happened on Prodigy in 2017. Over the Christmas break in 2016, I had a little time to kill, and I spent it building some new 3D graphics animations that I thought might improve the look and the production values of the show. The first big creation was the animation that we still use today for the show's opening, with the flying scoreboard and the Prodigy Bowlers Tour manhole cover rolling down the lane. This animation was first rolled out on our first show of 2017 back in January, and the graphics were updated and more were added over the summer for the launch of our 2017-18 bowling season. Number 9. Well, the number 9 best thing that happened on Prodigy in 2017 actually has its roots in 2016. The coveted trophy pin. Early on, when Prodigy first began back in the fall of 2016, the kids would bowl simply for bragging rights. Then, in a comment on our October 22nd, 2016 show featuring a match between Logan and Charlie, a woman named Amanda Mayer wrote, "Along with bragging rights, I wonder if more kids would get involved in the little competitions if there were something else to win." I wholeheartedly agreed with her, but I knew I wasn't going to be purchasing expensive prizes each week. It took a while noodling over her suggestion, but eventually I came up with an idea that I thought might work. After doing a considerable amount of digging, I found a company that would make bowling pins with anything printed on them that you could dream up. So, after spending some time in Photoshop working on the graphics, I ordered the coveted trophy pin, which arrived just in time for our first show of 2017. And the first winner who actually got to sign it immediately upon winning? That was Christian, when he won his first ever title on Prodigy Bowlers Tour.
He's shaking.
Number 8. My number 8 best thing that happened on Prodigy in 2017 is all the little kids that appeared on the show. It's always been my hope for Prodigy Bowlers Tour to not only showcase some of the best young talent in the area, but also to give us an opportunity to show off some of the younger kids who aren't yet some of the best young bowlers in the area, but might very well grow into that role someday. Besides, there's nothing cuter than watching a bunch of young kids bowling. Future prodigies, outtakes from league bowling. This is William. William is 7. And my favorite thing about William is that every time I see him, the first thing he does is give me a hug. How could I possibly not love these kids?
Let's see you make this. How are you going to make this?
I'll turn it and curve it, try to make it.
Okay, hit those 2 on the right. You might slide one over.
Okay.
You can do this. You can do this. Come on. Show me how.
He's like, I don't need no stinking finger holes.
Oh, he's going to give it a go. You got a hook, though. It's going the wrong way. That's okay. You know what? You got the hard one.
Our tip of the week comes from 7-year-old William, who reminds you,
Turn it and curve it, try to make it.
So, from watching some of our young two-handers develop, but it's little Rudy who's gonna take first prize, to seeing some of our young kids who were about to age into the varsity group this fall, Juwan throws a little better shot this time, right in the hole. Showing off our little ones has always been one of my primary objectives for Prodigy. It's where you first met a young fellow named Hunter, whose first appearance on Prodigy came back on our very first single ball eliminator. How about all 10? And a little dab will do you. Let's get a look at this reaction. There you go. Number 7, all the wacky formats. One of the things I hear again and again, both from people who leave comments on the videos, as well as from parents of the Prodigy bowlers and the bowlers themselves, is that they really enjoy how we mix up the formats from week to week. This began almost as soon as Prodigy began, and it's always been my intent to change things up, if only to keep viewers from getting bored. But it also has a practical reason. I want the competition to be tailored to the kids who are bowling that day. For instance, on the very first single ball eliminator show we did back in early 2017, we did it because most of our A players were out of town at a tournament, and I just wasn't sure if we'd have enough kids willing to spend all afternoon going through a round of qualifying and a stepladder. So it was born out of necessity to keep things short and fun. What I didn't expect was that the format would become one of our favorites, and one that really puts the kids under extreme pressure. But the list of formats is pretty long and includes such things as the cutthroat mulligan, the 7th frame sweat, the Prodigy Team Challenge, the Adult Youth Scotch Doubles 9-pin no-tap, Suicide no-tap, Pinpoint, the Double Ball Elimination, the Thanksgiving Turkey Shootout, and my favorite of them all, the Halloween-inspired format called Trick or Treat. As easy as 1, 2, 3. You can be sure the switching up of the formats is one feature that will be around as long as we keep doing Prodigy. Game over! The number 6 best thing that happened on Prodigy in 2017. All the visitors to Prodigy. Here's a trivia question for you. Who was the first player from another bowling center besides our home center of Brunswick Zone Roswell to come try their hand at qualifying for Prodigy Bowlers Tour? You might be surprised to learn that it was CJ Sanders. CJ bowled with us on January 21st, but failed to advance to the show. But he holds the distinction as the first ever visitor to Prodigy. 1 week later, the format was a little different and enabled both of our visitors that day, Big Logan M and his buddy Andrew from Stars and Strikes Incoming, to make the show. So they became the first visitors to actually compete on the show. That was the week the competition came down to the Battle of the Network Logans.
You've been here before, but not against a foreigner.
Yeah. Should be pretty fun.
He's like twice your size. It hardly seems like a fair fight.
Big Logan M squared off against Roswell's Little Logan F. And Big needed this strike to win. It's a little high. 4-pin. Since that time, the floodgates have opened, and we've hosted dozens of bowlers from neighboring centers. Oh, look at that trip 4, man.
He just carries himself like, I got this. And I'd say he does if he can throw it like that.
Man, the player who holds the distinction for having traveled the farthest to bowl with us is Richard, who came all the way from Honolulu, Hawaii to be on a Prodigy short back in July. Today, we count as regulars on the show a number of visitors from Brunswick Zone Lilburn and AMF Woodstock, and even the occasional visitor from out of state. We hope to keep filling up our guest book with more names of visitors in 2018. And that's the first half of our countdown of Coach Randy's top 10 best things that happened on Prodigy in 2017. Stay tuned for the top half. Before we decide this week's champion, let's recap how we got here. Logan was the first to fall into the elimination bracket, but he proved to have more lives than a cat as he escaped elimination from everyone else in the field. Melissa was the first to exit, followed by Tristan and Megan. Faith had a clear swing at Logan, but let him off the hook. Then it took 2 frames each to eliminate Matthew, Mark, and Josh. And as usual in these elimination formats, Nolan was right there at the end, this time finishing 3rd. But now it's down to just 2, as Christian, who never faced elimination, will now bowl against Logan, who spent most of the past 45 minutes on the edge of elimination. These 2 are tied for the lead in wins on Prodigy so far this season, and now they will break that tie. I'm trying to think back. I don't recall them meeting in a match on Prodigy this season. I know they did last year. I'm coming up blank, trying to think of a time they have bowled one another in the 2017-18 season. But in any case, Logan's leading off. And he lets that one get away from him. And that's wide and a 5 count and the super washout. The 1-2-4, 6-10. Here's one way to make it. Put the ball on the left of the 1 pin, knock it into the 6, let the 6 take the 10. The ball will take the 2 and the 4. Another school of thought is to hit it on the right side of the head pin. But you're not going to make it that way. Hitting flush on the head pin, and Logan has an open frame to start. And now Christian up on the right lane.
Tugged it.
Boy, did he ever tug it. You could hear somebody shout, tugged it. But he gets away with it, and a strike to start. Logan said a typical Christian strike. Well, I don't know about that, but a lucky one nonetheless. Let's see if he can put a double up on the board and take advantage of the open Logan gave him. A little thin. It's okay, he trusted it. That's what you want to do after you pull it. When you're playing out by the edge like that, it's easy to pull it. You get to the bottom of the swing and go, no, I don't want to throw it out there. But you got to trust it, even out there. You may throw a couple in the ditch, but you got to trust it. If the shot is there, you got to play out there. You can't be scared. All right, Logan up on the right, trying to bounce back. And a ringing 10. Boy, he threw that one good. Not much you can do about those. Just go back to the well again. Now, if you keep doing it again and again, you start making little tweaks. Go cross lane at it. Uh-oh. Well, now. You don't see Logan missing single pin spares very often. But that one was wide off his hand, and that's back-to-back opens to start. Very rarely do we see Logan do that.
Well, now he's given himself a chance to start with 3 opens. The 3-10 baby split. Put the ball right between the 3 and the 10. Well, let's see here. We've got a pin setter malfunction, and this is unofficial, informal, and impromptu. He's going to shoot the full rack. We give him the spare. Now, you would never do that in sanctioned competition, league or tournament play, but we're a little quirky here on Prodigy. It's open play. They're not going to reset a spare for open play, so we just tell him to shoot the full rack. He did, and it's a spare. Christian still maintaining a 24-pin lead. And he shakes him up good that time. Comes in light. Gets the mixer. This is the advantage to playing out by the edge. You can hit light like this, and you get this great angle. All right, we'll look at this one in split screen. And another light shaker. So that double extends Christian's lead to 34 pins. And Logan's got his back to the wall early in this match. And that's the Logan I know right there. Solid strike. Swings it out to about the 6th board, and here it comes. 10 in the pit. They didn't get that one quite as wide, you could tell. And as we mentioned earlier, on short oil, if you don't get it out wide enough, that's trouble. The 3-6-10 just put the ball between the 3 and the 6. The 6 will take out the 10. Easy enough on paper. He goes cross lane. Oh, but he hits the 3 full and chops the 6 off the 10, and that's his 3rd open of the match. And now Christian is in the driver's seat. Oh, he could have extended the lead to 56. As it is, he drops a pin and count. He's still up 45. In a commanding position, but boy, it would have been nice. You know Logan can throw strikes. He gets the 2. So Christian is doing his part here. Halfway through this championship match, a 45-pin differential. And Christian comes up light this time and leaves a very choppable spare, the 2-4-5, especially choppable on short oil where you know the back ends are hooking. Put the ball between the 2 and the 5. 2 will get the 4. Ideally, I think you're better off playing this down the left side of the lane. You reduce the angle to chop the 2 off the 5. But Christian, not taking my advice, playing it down the right side, and gets it anyway. Hey, as long as they go. All right, Logan needs strikes right now. But he doesn't get one. That ball comes up a little bit late. And he's got the 2 and the sleeper 8. You want to put the ball right on the face of the 2 pin. knock it straight back into the 8. You can hit it on the right side if you throw a little hook. That's well done. Well, you don't like to say through 6 frames you're running out of frames, but Logan needs to string some strikes if he's going to narrow the gap. And he gets that one way wide, and look at this trouble. The 2-4-10 split. It's makeable. Put the ball over on the left side of the 2-pin. The ball will take out the 4. The 2 will go over and get the 10. If all things go as planned. He really doesn't have room to miss it. But that is a wild miss. He missed it on the other side of the 2-pin. I've never seen Logan miss a spare that much. Now Christian can just about sleepwalk his way to this win. Especially if he throws another one of those. Christian is the only player in the field today who I think has played the lanes properly. Playing this pattern outside, up the first arrow. He's not putting a lot of angle on the ball. He's not sending it from left to right. He's just playing a little more down and in, but way outside. Played that one a little farther inside and just gave it a little extra speed to hold the line. And that double gives him a 68-pin lead. And I think Logan sees the writing on the wall. Now there's a strike with authority there. Almost a stone 9, but something came over and wiped out that possibility. I think that's the 2-pin that did the damage. There is a double. Maybe too little too late though, as Christian with a 58-pin lead working on a double as he gets up in the 9th frame. Well, he almost had the 4-9 that time, but that 9 count was enough. And with that, Christian has salted this one away. I did not expect to see this match be decided by this many pins. But Logan must have used up all his lives in the elimination rounds. He was the first to be dropped into the elimination bracket. What is this? And then Logan just kept surviving. But what is this with Christian? A couple of weeks ago when he won on Prodigy, he had the championship match locked up and he threw his last ball in the moat. And now he does it again here in the 10th frame. And of course he's going to blame the approach. That's what players always do when they throw an errant shot. It's always the approach's fault. We all know this. I think everything is settled now. Or not. What is this? So Christian finishes with a double gutter. Well, he is entertaining. He is endlessly entertaining. Oh yes, go up and check the approach. The approach was fine all day.
No. As soon as he locked up, he threw it last week or 2 weeks.
Well, everybody gets a good laugh at Christian, but in the end, Christian's going to have the last laugh today, because he's the one that's going to be signing the coveted trophy pin for having won the double ball elimination. Logan comes up just one life short. And that 10th frame does not matter one iota. And a big hearty congratulations to Christian. We'll talk to him and Logan when we return right after this. Before we resume the countdown of Coach Randy's top 10 best things that happened on Prodigy in 2017, let's review items 6 through 10. Number 10, the 3D animation graphics. Number 9, the coveted trophy pin. Number 8, the little kids. Number 7, all the wacky formats. Number 6, all the visitors who've come to bowl with us. And now, the number 5 best thing that happened on Prodigy Bowlers Tour in 2017. All of Christian's gutters and mishaps. It began on the February 11th show as we were setting the scene. Christian working on a spare here in the 10th frame. All he needs is any sort of reasonable count, a spare, and just a few pins, and he'll be in the championship round. But with that first ball in the 10th, he loses 10 pins in count, and now even if he spares and strikes on the fill ball, the best he can do is 189. He needed to beat 191 to get to the championship round. Christian is out, and the field is set. Christian has made himself a target for ridicule. If it wasn't a simple single pin spare, oh my goodness, he fell off balance. And he pulls it. It was his chronic problem with specific spares that were a constant state of frustration, like the 3-6-10. Christian? But for sheer comic relief, nothing quite matches Christian's penchant for throwing it in the moat just when we least expect it, like he did after clinching the December match play event. 269 with a strike. Wide. And today, once having the single ball elimination challenge all wrapped up, Christian just couldn't help himself. Not once, but twice. The number 4 best thing that happened on Prodigy in 2017. Our first road show. Live on tape from Brunswick Zone Austell in Marietta, Georgia. Back on April 15th, Brunswick Zone Roswell was taken over by a big tournament, so our league was forced to the sidelines for a week. Rather than skipping a week of Prodigy, I got the good people at Brunswick Zone Austell in Marietta, Georgia, to agree to let us come over and stage a Prodigy Bowlers Tour event over there. No sooner had I walked through the door that day that 3 little Austell kids came up to me and said, "Hey, we heard your voice. You're that Prodigy guy, aren't you?" We were greeted by a total of 18 Austell kids who were eager to bowl Prodigy, plus 2 from Stars and Strikes who followed us over, and 6 more who came all the way over from Roswell, making this the largest field up to that point for any Prodigy event. After a 2-game qualifier, we staged a championship match in 3 different divisions: the littles, the bigs, and the girls. And in each division, it happened to work out that we had 1 finalist from Austell and 1 from our Roswell kids.
Hunter took top honors among the littles. Kara staged a comeback to win the girls' division. And in the bigs, Brandon was overtaken by Austell's Zion, who became the first non-Roswell kid to sign his name to the coveted trophy pin.
Way to represent Austell!
So, way to represent Austell. I know they're going to be happy.
The number 3 best thing that happened on Prodigy in 2017. Hunter climbs the stepladder to win the long and winding road. We don't often do handicap events on Prodigy. Our annual Roswell Varsity and Junior Varsity Tournament of Champions is a handicap event, and this year it made for one of the most thrilling of all the Prodigy telecasts of the year. But we had no plans to do another handicap event. Hunter is just the type of kid who, despite being a lot younger and having a much lower average than most of our older Prodigy regulars, likes to get in there and mix it up with the big kids. I don't know if he thinks he has a legitimate chance to beat them scratch or not, but on this particular day, I guess I was just feeling generous and decided at the last minute to give some of our lower average players in the field a fighting chance by going with a handicap format, 90% of 200. Sure enough, Hunter squeaked into the stepladder by just 5 pins. And in his first match, he took down Christian. And he gets a Brooklyn. Then in match 2, with Hunter facing the player he most admires, Charlie, it all came down to a very tense 10th frame.
10 pin stops him. So a 202 to finish. And that means Hunter is going to need to fill 18 to win by a pin. Now he's working on a spare, so he's got to watch his count. Oh, there's 9. Gotta have this one. All right, he's got the spare. Hunter needs 9 to win. 9 or a strike. 8's a tie. 7's a loser. And he did it! The upset of the century as Hunter sneaks by Charlie and will move on to the semifinal to face Nolan. Hunter took care of Nolan scratch, setting up the championship match against Big Logan M, a veritable David and Goliath match. But in the end, Logan's inability to carry and Hunter's steady diet of marks was enough to send Hunter home with an unforgettable day at the bowling alley.
Well, well, well.
Yes.
As I live and breathe.
Yes. This is better than everything. This is better than the first time I've ever been in a stepladder, versus the 4 times I've ever been a winner on the littles. This is just the best thing ever.
The number 2 best thing that happened on Prodigy in 2017. It's the one thing that all of us admire. Excellence on display. And that's the way every match ought to start. There's nothing that gets my juices flowing quite like watching these kids bowl on Prodigy and get in dead stroke. We saw it back in February when Charlie went on a 3-game tear with his urethane ball, throwing games of 244, 279, and 232, notching a scorching 755 series, the best up to that time on Prodigy. Later, on May 21st, Logan F. set the standard for a 3-game series on Prodigy when he fired games of 259, 278, and 224, a scintillating 761 at the Roswell Varsity season-ending Tournament of Champions. It remains the highest 3-game set bowled on Prodigy. So, here's the situation. If Cameron spares and strikes, he shoots 270 with his handicap. Logan must strike on this ball.
to get into the 270s. He'll need a couple of pins in count beyond that, but he's got to have this one. And he gets it! Just a few weeks ago at the December Match Play Championship, Christian and Nick went toe-to-toe, nearly matching each other strike for strike in quite possibly the most thrilling championship match ever staged on Prodigy, as Christian came out on top at the end. And he throws his best shot. In discussing excellence on display, I would be remiss if I left out the one and only 300 game bowled on Prodigy back in July on our Let the Fireworks Begin episode. It was a Scotch doubles event, pairing one adult with one junior bowler on each team in a 9-pin no-tap format. So now it comes down to one ball. And it's all in the hands of Darren Vance for the first ever 300 game on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Here it is. He did it! 300! Not only were there strikes, but these kids showed the steady hand of a surgeon in converting split after split. Hunter for the washout. Look at this. Look at this! See what he can do. Ooh. Ooh! Oh, but not so fast. Oh, yes! It's a lot easier for a right-hander because he's hooking toward it. And that is exactly the way you convert the 2-7. Try to get the ball over to the left of the 1 pin, knock it into the 10. Just like that. And now Dakota for a big wide open split. And he converts it. And he likes it. And Joshua makes the washout. Let's see what he can do with it. How about make it? In 2017, these kids put on an awesome display of skill, guile, and determination. And I ranked it as the #2 best thing that happened on Prodigy in 2017. And the #1 best thing that happened on Prodigy in 2017 was the race for the coveted trophy pin and what Charlie did with it when he won it. Logan began the 2016-17 season by racing to 7 wins. He appeared to have a lock on the coveted trophy pin. We had determined last season that the pin would go to the player who won and therefore had signed the pin the most times. But after the start of calendar 2017, Charlie started chipping away at Logan's lead. 3 pins and this is over. See ya. That's the winning ball right there. Before we knew it, Charlie had climbed back and eventually tied Logan with 7 wins on the season.
This draws you into a tie with Logan for the most wins this year.
So, to decide things, we held the big showdown for the win. A 3 games total pins match that would decide the winner of the coveted trophy pin. The match turned early on a most unusual and unfortunate occurrence. The removable thumb hole in Logan's ball came loose right in the middle of his downswing, resulting in a gutter ball.
What is this?
When Logan got up in that frame, the match was still within a mark. But then, when he got up in the next frame, he was down by over 50 pins in the match and was just never quite able to draw any closer.
Charlie lit it up in the second half. Wow, look at that.
So Charlie won the coveted trophy pin, and then at the season-ending awards ceremony, he surprised most everyone in the room with what he did with it.
And the winner of the coveted trophy pin this year is Charlie Boston.
season, Hunter's been bowling on Prodigy. No matter how he bowls, low or high, he has a good attitude. Not many bowlers in this world can do what he does. And I want to give this pin to Hunter.
So there's the countdown of my top 10 best things that happened on Prodigy Bowlers Tour in 2017. Now we look forward to what's to come in 2018, and we hope you'll come along for the ride. Well, there they are, the final results of the final Prodigy Bowlers Tour event of calendar 2017. As we enter 2018, Christian takes a 4-3 lead over Logan in championships this season, but there's a lot of season left. We hope you've enjoyed watching Prodigy Bowlers Tour in 2017. We look forward to bringing you more exciting, unofficial, informal, and impromptu after-league challenge matches in 2018, as we hope to start hitting the road soon and doing some road shows as well. But now, it's time to talk to our finalists on the Prodigy Bowlers Tour Double Ball Elimination Challenge.
It was a swell effort, but it wasn't enough.
You're crazy. I didn't close the frame until the 4th frame. It was a swell effort.
Christian, we're gonna need you over here.
Christian thinks he's so cool because he locked it up and then guttered twice. I wasn't even paying attention. Just rub it in my face.
You weren't paying attention? I think we noticed that.
Literally, I just slipped that first shot. He's gonna blame it like the ball didn't come back.
So I'm back there talking to Logan's dad.
2 weeks in a row.
We're trying to figure out, okay, what is, Logan has a possible, whatever it was, and we looked up at you, and we said, let's see, has Christian already got it locked up? And then you threw one in the gutter. I said, well, he's not gonna win if he does that again. And then you did it again, but you actually already had it locked up. I think the pin is over there, isn't it?
Right here.
Oh, he's got the pin. Today is the 16th of December. 12/16/2017. And congratulations.
Shush. We shall never speak of this again. I think we should get it counted. How many times? This one has guttered. Not only like guttered in general. Like sure, we all have the occasional like spare dump in the channel, right? But in the 10th frame, we have 3 in 2 weeks. Yeah, I saw you dump.
That was just awesome.
That will